It was match number 40 in the Indian Premier League. Sunrisers Hyderabad had an emphatic 8-wicket win over Rajasthan Royals. Sunrisers with the win has now moved to 5th place with 8 points on the table. And Royals now, with just 3 games remaining, have just like 8 points and have slipped to the 7th place. So, Shivansh, it seemed like we could have like a thrilling contest when Warner and Bairstow got out early, but then it turned out to be a pretty comprehensive victory for Sunrisers in the end. What was your hit from this match?
Hi Ashwin, hope you're doing well. For me, the hit was Jason Holder, the Windies captain. So why was he the hit for me? Was because it was his first game of the season, and he was brought in initially for the injured Mitchell Marsh, and then he was given a game today because of Williamson being ruled out to an injury. And I will just break down his performance with the ball throughout the innings, which will give the exact idea of how he contributed towards Sunrisers' victory today. He bowled 2 overs in the power play, Ashin, and the first over was just for 6 runs. In the second over, he sent Uthappa back with a brilliant run out, and he had to turn around and hit the target, and he did so really well. At that point, Uthappa was looking, he was going on fine. I mean, he had scored 19 runs with 2 fours and a 6. And then he comes back in the 12th over. He gets the wicket of Sanju Samson, to pile further misery on Rajasthan Royals, and he only gives away 9 runs in that over. And then he comes back for the penultimate over. He picks up the wickets of Parag and Smith, who in the previous over had hit T. Natarajan for 14 runs. So the importance of that wicket, of the Parag wicket, only increases because that proved to be the difference, according to me, between a par total of 165 to 180 and the total that they eventually got to of 154. So for me, 3 for 33, excellent start, and then a brilliant bowling in the middle and towards the end. It was special, and it was all the more special because it's not easy. We have seen in this edition of the tournament that the Russells and the Cummins and the Kohlis and the Bumrahs, they've taken their time to get used to the conditions. But for Holder to just come in first game as a replacement and then as a second replacement for the match, and for me that was the match-winning spell in all contexts of the game and in all.
To add context to what you were saying is that this is his first IPL game since 2016. Like
since 2016.
Not so sought after IPL all-rounders, but he right. Seen his quality over the years.
And he had a good CPL as well. He had a good CPL as well. He picked up 10 wickets in 10 matches, and before that they were in England for the West Indies tour. So he was in good form, and someone's loss has to be someone's gain. So I think this thankfully worked out in SRH's favor. According to Ashin, who was the hit for you?
I had a difficult choice to make. Going from Sunrisers again, it was between Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar. I think I have to go with Vijay Shankar because he coming into this match, he has played all of 18 balls in 4 innings, I guess. He hadn't made much runs, and his plays was nearly coming under scrutiny. First, he delivered with the ball 1 for 15, and this is the second consecutive game where he had bowled an economical spell and also picked up a few wickets. And to add to that, Warner and Bairstow got out for just 16 runs, and coming in at number 4, him and he played the perfect foil for Manish Pandey, who, in my opinion, looked flawless today. He was the most comfortable batsman on that pitch. He had 8 sixes, but to provide the support, not because SRH's middle order has always been under some question because not had the opportunities, but today they got the opportunities, and like Warner said, it's a bit unfair on their middle order because they always get criticism for not performing, but today where they had the chance, and both Shankar and Pandey took the chance with both their hands. he started pretty slowly. He was getting into the game instead of coming usually he comes pretty late innings and then he has to go for it. He settled himself in with 19 of 10 balls. Then he finished with 52 unbeaten of 48 or 50 odd balls. So a good knock for him to take forward in the later stages of the tournament. So he is the hit of the game for me. Moving on, Shivansh, who was the villain, or shall we say, let's just stick to who was the miss of this contest for you.
For me, it was Ben Stokes. I think in all aspects, he had a very poor game. So let's start with this batting first. He scored 30 of 32 balls, and he eventually got out to Rashid Khan. And he received 5 chances. He escaped 5 times. In the third over, when he was batting on 2, Rashid Khan missed the run out when they were taking a very risky single. When he was on 7th, in the 4th over, he tried to play that scoop shot to Jason Holder, and the ball just flew past Johnny Bairstow. When he was on 13, in the 5th over, he tried to jog down the track. He tried to play that pull shot on the move, and the ball fell just short of Rashid Khan. In the 8th over, he was playing that wild reverse slog sweep, and the ball fell again just short of Samad on this occasion. And then he was dropped by Vijay Shankar on 17. For me, if I have to give a wild card prize to the hit of the match, I would give it to Stokes' luck. But it was a shame that he couldn't capitalize on it, because when a batsman receives so many chances, he usually goes on to make a difference or make a good score. So in the power play, which has 36 balls, he faced 17 deliveries. Of 17 deliveries, which is almost half the quota of the power play balls, he only scored 16. Honestly, for Rajasthan Royals, him opening is not working out, and IPL teams need to get over the left and right hand combination. I think it's very overrated. It's not working out. You have Jos Buttler, who's a genuine opener. Make him open with Uthappa, who's also an opener. Let Sanju Samson come in at 3. You have Smith at 4 and Stokes at 5. And that's where Stokes bats for England as well. And that's where Smith and Buttler bat for their teams in international cricket as well. So I don't see a reason why they would stick. And 16 of 17 in the power play is only going to hurt your team's chances. And we saw how Sunrisers pulled it back, and in fact, Samson should have been thankful to Holder for sending him back, because that was a pretty average innings as well. So yeah, I mean, apart from the first 2 innings, he hasn't clicked. So
yeah, I think he hasn't had a great tournament overall.
Absolutely
through the tournament, and the team management has just thrown him into the team and his
deep end.
Yeah,
absolutely. Who was your miss, Ashin, in this match?
I we spoke earlier, I also wanted to go with Stokes, because I felt his over in the power play was kind of a turning point. But then I'm going to go with another choice from Rajasthan Royals, which is Steven Smith's choice not giving Josh the 3rd over in the power play. He was tired today. The ball to get rid of Bairstow, especially 149 clicks. Then he followed it up with 150 plus in the same over to Shankar. He should have probably gotten to 3rd over as well. You can clearly see the shackles off for Manish Pandey, especially in the power play, to go after someone like Karthik Tyagi and Ben Stokes. I think Ben Stokes bowled the 4th or the 5th over. And
he bowled the 5th over.
And Pandey took the attack to him, right? And they got over 50 plus runs, or nearly 60 runs in the power play, which proved to be a difference. Because if Archer, until then, from the 2 overs, he had conceded just 5 runs, 6 runs or 5 runs, and taken 2 wickets. And Smith, in hindsight, obviously, like what we all do, he admitted that maybe I should have given him the over. Pandey, in the post-match presser himself, had said that our plan was not go after Archer and just pay him out, and go after the other bowlers. But what could have happened? But with the ball moving around and the form he displayed in the first 2 overs, he could have been the bowler to go with for Royals. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I forgot to mention that point that you rightly pointed out. Ben Stokes couldn't even complete his full quote of 4 overs, and he went for 24 runs in 2 overs, and including a 13-run over in the power play. So
his bowling has been shocking this tournament.
Absolutely. Make no mistake. I mean, he's one of the best all-rounders in international cricket, no doubt. But I think the circumstances under which he had to miss the first half and under which he came here, I think that also has a lot to play. A lot of problems on the personal front. So it's okay. It's just an off tournament. It happens.
Moving on to the next game, which is Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings in Sharjah. This is what we started off the tournament with. Chennai Super Kings won comprehensively in that game, but like both teams are now at the different ends of the table, and Chennai Super Kings could still give themselves a chance to make the playoffs if they could get a win tomorrow. So Shivansh, what is your contest within the contest for this match for you?
For me, it has to be the openers versus the openers. CSK openers versus Mumbai's bowling openers. In the past 3 matches, CSK has gone with Sam Curran and Faf du Plessis opening the batting. But the numbers show that it hasn't quite worked out, because in the last 3 matches, the two of them have only put together 23 runs in 3 innings. And that includes a duck for Sam Curran and a duck for Faf du Plessis. But one thing that's happened for them in favor of them is that one of the batsmen has gone on to score a 30 plus or a 20 plus score, including a Faf du Plessis 50. So why I picked them against the Mumbai opening bowlers is because either of Bumrah or Bolt, apart from the RCB game, which was the 3rd game in the tournament, have picked at least 1 wicket in the power play. And that consistency is why Mumbai Indians is currently 3rd. So I think that's going to play a huge factor, and they share 27 wickets between them. So that's the duo that I'm looking forward to. Bumrah is very lethal against left-handers because of his natural action of the ball, angling away from the left-handers and landing in the corridor of uncertainty. Bolt in swingers against right-handers, we know he has the potential, and he is very threatening against right-handers. And Faf du Plessis is often criticized for playing across the line when the ball is straight. So he either ends up losing his middle stump or he is caught leg before wicket. So I think Bolt would want to exploit that up front, and he opens the bowling. So that is one battle I'm looking forward to. A ton of pressure on CSK openers. They have to. I don't see any spark at the moment in anybody. Forget the youngsters. But let's see that. And by the way, Sharjah, CSK has lost both their matches, and Mumbai's only played one, and they won that game against Sunrisers. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that stat is going to play a huge role, but this battle is something that will be worth looking forward to. What about you, Ashin? What battle are you looking forward to for tomorrow's game?
Mine would be the battle between the spinners in the team. Off late in Sharjah, we have seen that run scoring isn't that easy, and spinners have actually played a huge role in that. And both teams do have. I would say that Mumbai's spinners in Rahul Chahar and Krunal Pandya have performed better, and Chennai Super Kings not so much. They have. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Imran Tahir making a comeback into the team. He has been.
Right.
He was the purple cap holder from last season, and he hasn't gotten a game yet. And
right.
This could be a chance for him to make a comeback. But again, the combinations will have to play a role. And Jadeja and Karan Sharma and maybe Piyush Chawla, you all the bowlers who take the ball away from them. But mind you, Mumbai have 3 left-handers, quality, aggressive left-handers, Ishan Kishan, Quinton de Kock and Krunal Pandya in the lineup who can go after those bowlers. So that battle, because we know that Mumbai are very lethal with the bat in the power play and in the death. So these spinners, how they could strangle the opposition could be key in these matchups, I feel. So the matchup between the spinners is what I'm looking forward to.